Hello, everyone. There he is.
Hi, how are y'all? We are virtually tasting wine with you today. We're here at the chef's table. Chef Chris and I have got a busy night ahead. And I think last time we did a chef's table on Wednesday, we filmed either on Tuesday before.
No, we did it after.
Or we did the night before. It depends on which one you're talking about. But these Wednesdays can be quite full. The one we did after is when we had a lunch and a dinner.
That's what I'm saying.
table.
The last time we did this, we had lunch, chef's table, dinner, chef's table, and we started filming at 11:30 at night.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And then we got a lot of great reviews on that video.
We did.
We were very
We did.
personable, I guess.
I guess we were a little slap happy.
We could have been. We were also getting into the wine at that point. That might have something to do with it. Usually
I don't think that was our first taste.
Usually we're filming these earlier in the day, and we haven't been.
This is normally our first sip, but that was absolutely not the case on that particular occasion. But we did manage to slide this in. We're filming in the afternoon, so we got a little while. Well, not that long. It's after lunch. It's before the table, so we're gonna
squeeze.
We're gonna get this done.
And
my dogs will be happy for me not to wake them up later. Thank you.
So this is what we do on Thursdays here in person. We do 4 wines from around the world to explore the wines of the world, the regions of the world. And if you can't be here, we do it virtually, and you watch this little show that we make, and it's a lot of fun. We've got a couple
It's
of
a ton of
here.
fun. Wow.
We like to see all the different places in the world, if possible. Look at that nice drip there. Nice job, Ed. Kanonkop.
Painting.
Yeah.
Painting.
This is from Kanonkop. Is Cadet, and you see. I don't know if you can see that little cannon. Yeah, cannon right there on the top. This is significant to this area. We're down in the coastal region, near not too far from Cape. And this, I guess, would be like the Atlantic meets the South, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where it's where they meet each other. And back in the day, they would fire that cannon to alert all the farmers that a ship is coming in to Table Bay, so that they could bring their veggies and whatnot to sell or trade. That was a really big thing.
They were certainly in need of provisions by the time they got there. That was a huge boon to the economy.
Yeah. So if you're sailing around the Cape, absolutely. So it's an area known for trade and agriculture. So, and of course, in terms of what Chris and I care about, it's known for wines.
Hey, and it then certainly that will fall under farming and agriculture, but just on a different level.
Yeah, we're talking 400 or 500 years of great winemaking.
Is that all?
Yeah.
So, the new world, right?
Right. And I went ahead and opened up our next wine just to get a little breathe on it. So, so we're starting off here with this beautiful blend. It is primarily Pinotage, I think, to the upwards of about 40-45%, and then finished off with Cab Merlot and Cab Franc. And this is an absolutely beautiful color. I hope you're getting this. It is beautiful. If you have this bottle at home to watch along, I think you're pretty impressed by this color. I know I am. There, you can definitely see that Merlot red in there.
Oh,
it just really shines.
It really shines.
And this is it's great value. I'll say that. It really brings a lot, and this is very typical of South African wines that we're getting a lot of bang for the buck. What do you think, Chef?
I love it, but boy, you can't hide Pinotage, can you?
Mm-hmm.
So even though it's a classic Bordeaux blend, and putting the home grape in there really, I wouldn't say it permeates it, but you can't hide it. And Pinotage is very distinctive in a great way. I love Pinotage. I love 100% Pinotage, but I just love what this is doing in this blend. Very silky. Sometimes Pinotage can have some rougher edges.
It can get wild,
depending on the winemaker, of course. You can do some things, but this is very elegant.
Absolutely.
For this price point and for this mixture of grapes, to have a Bordeaux blend with Pinotage helps. I'm sure keeps the cost down, but certainly elevates the silkiness and the roundness of it through the blending process here. Delicious.
Yeah, it has a nice acidity to it as well. That's always when you and I are talking about wine pairings like the chef's table we have tonight, you know, so many times, you know, we're working towards the structure of a wine, and a wine like this would be an excellent food wine because it is very, it comes on as a big fruit. You kind of brace yourself a little bit, but the acidity comes through here beautifully and washes everything away. You really do have just like a real fresh finish to this.
It is, even with the tannins, it's fresh, and I don't find any part of it overwhelming. I think it's incredibly balanced.
Great texture though. It's got a lot of weight to
and
it.
a little chew to it.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, a little leather, which you don't normally expect. Well, I wouldn't expect this to be leathery, but it's got some chew to it. I mean, it can stand up.
Yeah, it does have the the underlying red fruit. But there's also some black fruit, blue fruit here. It's really nice little cocktail.
Yeah, the blue is
flavors.
the blue's right there. A dried blueberry, delicious. Boysenberry.
Lots of things to enjoy. Boysenberry, I like that one. That's a great one, Chef. So, what we're talking about here is, you know, an area that continues to impress, particularly for the freshness factor, I would think. I mean, I find that their wines at whatever age in South Africa tend to taste fresh and lively. Acidity is certainly prevalent, but not overbearing. Tannins are always seemingly subdued in a very good way.
Very good way.
You know, it's not going to take away from the foods that you're enjoying. It's only going to complement them, and it does. You know, it leaves your mouth dry. You're still wanting to come back.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
It certainly is.
But you also don't have to shave your tongue from all the tannins, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
No, they're just right. They're just right. Especially, you know, we're kind of we're in that no man's land right now of the weather.
Oh yeah.
You know, where the temperatures are lower, but the humidity's up. But we're getting these little flourishes of cold days and nights. So the weather doesn't really know what it wants to be, and so cuisine and wine wise, we're kind of like depends on the day. You know,
Sure.
So we're all mentally ready for fall. But nature's not quite yet. It's still throwing us some really warm, humid days, even though they're not like summer days. So I think this is a kind of a perfect in between red. You know, it's not an Ossobuco November red, but at the same time, it's not a August red either. It is kind of fitting right here.
I totally agree with you, Chef. This has got so much versatility in what you can do with it, including those simple fares like sausages and burgers that are, we just got through Labor Day weekend. I know a lot of people were doing that kind of thing, but I always think, well, Oktoberfest, sausage time.
I mean, yes.
And the grills are still going to be out. They're still going to be out. We got 2/3 or 3/4 of September left, and we all know in the South that September can be an adventure. And so can October, for that matter. So this is like Chef said, this could be a work with warm weather or cold weather foods. And of course, we like versatility. But honestly, with a flavor like this, I don't really care if it's versatile or not. I just love drinking.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
And for me too, it's kind of counterintuitive, but I don't really like to start grilling till right now. I mean, this is for me is the start. Yes.
Yeah.
This is the start of my grilling season. I've got my bed of my truck's full of wood for my grilling season at home. So I'm just now getting cranked up for it, because when you you work in a kitchen in front of all these open sources of heat 14 hours a day, the last thing you want to do is turn a grill on and stand outside. So to me, this is ideal. I like to cook inside in the summer and outside in the cooler times. But, it's funny, I'd made some notes. It's not what we're going to do because I kind of moved on, but had I tasted this before, salmon belly.
Oh, yeah.
The fattiness of the salmon, but still bright enough for fish all day long. Tuna.
Yeah.
This could handle seafood all day long.
Yeah, it's not too much. I mean, if you're a red wine lover, you're going to drink red wine with
You'll
seafood.
figure it out, yeah.
Anyway, Chef Chris and I are always trying to pair seafood and reds so often because of the accoutrement that he has with his chef's tables, they generally lean towards red. So I'm always looking for those reds that can not wash away seafood but stand up to the veggies and the spices and all the things that those intricacies on your plate that are certainly red flavored driven. So we really dig that, having those red wines for seafood. And this would, like Chef said, you want something big along with it, and of course that fattiness with this acidity would be wonderful.
It would be, and even being a red wine drinker, there's still a lot of pitfalls out there. I mean, obviously, if I've learned anything from you, it's been to rediscover my love for white wine, or appreciation and enjoying white wine. And so, but I mean, there's being a red wine drinker, which I am predominantly, doesn't mean I don't drink whites, but there's still, you don't just like grab any red with any fish either. I mean, there's a true art to what you do in picking the right red for the right fish.
I just keep tasting, Chef. That's the only thing you can
Devotion.
do is taste.
Devotion.
And, I guess on paper, if you looked at this blend and, you were just looking at, reviews of this wine or whatever it is, and you'd see this makeup, you would say, well, that probably goes great with a steak, and I would agree with that, but you wouldn't know that this could handle a rich fish.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Picking the fattiness of the fish, or the accompaniment to a leaner thing. If you had a leaner fish or shellfish, that's just when you want to kind of change gears with what you're going to serve with it, and to introduce some heavier fats or flavors to that lean fish, or start with a fatty fish, either way.
Yeah, like a lot of times you're doing tomato and sausage and fish, shellfish, it's maybe both, and maybe some smoked meats, if not
Smoked
that.
meats, absolutely. We love doing the Nordic stuff, and especially in the wintertime when the gardens are dormant. We love doing potatoes and sausage and fennels and those sort of things with fish, because fishing is normally quite outstanding in the winter, even though the things you have to choose from are less. So, but we don't want, so we tend to do a more Nordic style with that, and it's always a great wine pairing opportunity when you have those versatile fats and textures to work with in the cooler months with red wine. It's always a lot of fun. Or Scandinavian too. I shouldn't say just Nordic, but Scandinavian styles, which are always fish heavy, but you can only forage so much in the weather.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, you've been killing it in the foraging here lately. We've had so many great mushrooms come in the back door.
It's just been an unmatched year, both in variety and volume for foraging and gardening. The weather has been really pleasing.
Chef, so are you committing to that belly, or are you going to do something else?
Well, I'm going to let you decide, because what I committed to was a stuffed mushroom. I had a stuffed shiitake with braised beef and the chipolline onions. Mm-hmm. However, I'm prepared now that we've tasted it, because I have a beautiful amount of salmon that arrived late this afternoon. So we can absolutely switch gears. But I'm going to let you be the final arbiter on this.
Well, I think those chipolline onions would go great with that.
That balsamic vinegar, the acid on the vinegar, and the softness of the braised beef.
Yeah.
It might pay more homage to a sense of place too, because I don't know how much salmon belly you get in the cake.
You're probably right, yeah.
But maybe onions and mushrooms and beef might be more. Like you're always saying, what grows together goes together. So it may be more honoring the area of their cuisine. So maybe we'll stick with that.
I'm not sure what the range of salmon is. Of course, we think about it being in Chile, which is
Well, it's been introduced to Chile. It is not. It is not indigenous to Chile. Salmon mostly you're looking at both of our coasts. Russia obviously has a huge indigenous salmon. Scotland.
My favorite.
But really, Nova Scotia, Alaska, Scotland, Russia, those are really the main salmon areas that are, when you're talking about where it naturally exists. Everywhere else, and there's nothing wrong with introducing a species somewhere else, especially if it thrives. But certainly not South Africa.
I know those Italians sure are happy for tomatoes.
Right.
I mean, it thrives in Italy, that's for sure. All right, Chef.
There was a
beef. It is, eh?
Beef. It is. And I was well, I still struggle when my kids were really young. Thank you so much. Thank you. Always trying to find new books. I would read them 2 or 3 books every night at bedtime. So I was always trying to do new things. They had their favorites, but always trying to mix it up. So we had something new to read at night, at bedtime. But one was on Thomas Jefferson and his gardens. It was a kid's book about his gardens and all the things he brought from France and that sort of thing, which I didn't know. It's funny to learn from that is, they were called love fruit for the longest time. Tomatoes was actually a much later designation to what they were. And people were scared of it. They thought that tomatoes would make you sick, and there was this huge stereotype around tomatoes, and it took Jefferson cooking and introducing them to them, and to say, and he would actually eat tomatoes in Congress, and he would do it in public so people would see him do it to try to calm everyone's fears on that. But anyway,
I can't believe they haven't canceled him yet.
Actually, they have. So sorry about that little sidetrack, but that made me think that I always want to say, oh, that's a love fruit.
Well, speaking of love fruit, I would say wine's a love fruit.
The original love fruit. I would trade all the tomatoes for 1 glass of wine. Wow, what a nose on this beast.
All right, so as you can see, we got a 2014 Carlos Ceres. This is one of our favorite producers of all things Rioja. Chef Chris and I serve their Crianza level, their Reserva level. This happens to be the Gran Reserva level. If you don't know, that is minimum 2 years in oak, and then an additional 3 years in bottle. And so you're talking about something that...
and a 5-year release date. Is that right?
Well, that's the combination.
The combination, okay.
Yeah. So
I didn't know if the 5 started after the barrel or if that was.
Those are the minimums. The minimums,
gotcha.
And so that means there can certainly be more. They can hold on to it as long as they want. As far as I'm concerned, as long as it tastes this good. I honestly, Chef, I wish more wineries would hold on to their wines longer. I understand, they need income rolling in. I mean, look at this. It's 5 years before they're getting money on it, but. There's a lot of wines that are released too early. People taste them because they don't know.
They're
like, these aren't that
many.
great.
There's so many.
But in 10 years, Barolo is a perfect example. You shouldn't drink a Barolo under 10 years for the most part. And
I think that's too the advantage of growing wine for thousands of years, that your base constituency understands that. And you would never find an Italian or a Frenchman that would intentionally, that would see a 3-year-old Barolo and buy it, unless it was to sell it.
Yeah.
They're not going to buy that in a restaurant. They're not going to buy it in a retail shop to drink. They would only buy it to cellar it. And of course, we're not getting on the economics here. A lot goes into it. We see it every day, how much treasure and effort goes into just 1 year. And you want the return on that. But, I think some of these heritage wineries been doing it for hundreds of years. They've got a little stash. They understand that holding it back, and you can release certain ones. But even when you do, it's like, let's just keep a few barrels here and do a...
Right.
I mean, it's important.
Yeah, and also realizing that they can get more per ounce or more per bottle down the road, understanding that as long as they, but there is risk obviously of spoilage or taint of any kind of, there's weird stuff that happens with it. Now remember, these things are alive. They're just like you and me, and we get bugs, and they get bugs occasionally, and that's unfortunate. But that's just a risk we take with wine because it's worth it. We want something that's going to be different and has an evolution in the bottle, or a different taste, not radically different, but a little different each year, so we can say, man, you remember that 2014? That was an amazing year. Now this year was a cooler year, 2014. I think they had a little bit more rain. I would say it was probably more kind of like our August that we had here. It never really got that hot. You know, we were not complaining about it.
It was a great August.
But when it, you know, when you there's certain, you know, and this is a just stunning wine. I just want to make very clear, but it's not what I would call super rich. It is very flavorful. There is no doubt about that. But there's a brightness to this, even at what 6, 7.
It is on like
8 years.
However, following it with this is way on the drier side. I mean, this is like a little pucker, but only because it's following this, not on its own. I think that there's an element of the juiciness of this wine is affecting the first couple of sips and making it probably drier than it really is. But you know, really, Chef, right now it seems like it's almost financially advantageous to hold wine back. I mean, I can't tell you when all the things I read, how many people these days, late frosts, drought, flooding, like people are losing vintages left and right.
So it's nice to have some.
So it's nice to have something. So, and like when we were in Oregon, I hate to keep, you know, dogging this, but they had all these wildfires and they had all this late rain, and like 3 of the places we went did not release a 2021 or a 2020. I mean, they had nothing for the entire year. Like everything they harvested was terrible. And of what they actually had left of all the fires, they're tainted. So I mean, like, and we're seeing it every day with the fires and the frost. These late frosts are just bizarre. They're wiping out entire ecosystems. So maybe the thinking should be to hold back when you have a good year. You know, I know a lot of wheat farmers. You know, when they have a great year, they don't release all their grain. They fill a silo or two and say, hey, maybe next year's not so great. Yeah. We need to have some wheat to sell next year. So, you know.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Who knows? Maybe the thinking is going to start to change.
Yeah, I mean, we can't.
To our benefit.
We've been pretty lucky. You know, we haven't had much erratic weather for such a long time that we think that this is foreign to the earth, and it's not.
No, it's not.
I mean, this is what Mother Earth does. We've just had like a really great stretch of not really really radical weather in the world, and we're due for it. I mean, I hate to say it, but we are due for it.
I think we've had a really good stretch of documentation. You know, I don't think we have reliable records.
About 100 to 150
200 years of max.
I don't even know if we have.
I mean, saying reliable. I mean, certainly, but I mean, like for reliable, like real worldwide weather. Yeah, I agree. 100 years tops is like super mapped out. Yeah. I mean, and that
there hasn't been a lot of change.
And that's a blink of an eye in terms of how old a planet is. I mean, you know, we're not talking about a country or an industry. I mean, you know, we're talking about billions of years, and we've only charted reliably for 100 or 200 years.
Well, there'll be winners and losers, just like everything else, and winemakers will adapt because
coffee in England,
because they're smart, you know. And we've got, you know, we got beautiful bubbles now in England, just like we did, you know. Well, you know, we had bubbles 1,000 years ago, but there was wine 1,000 years ago. So it's circled back around to where they can enjoy making beautiful wines, and they do make beautiful wines, by the way. If you haven't had one, I highly recommend them. So, you know, this is about a classic of places you can get the Rioja. Tempranillo is the grape. Now, they will blend in small amounts of other grapes, but it's predominantly Tempranillo, or 100% often. But Tempranillo does the talking here. And, you know, the American oak is such a beautiful thing on Tempranillo. That's one of the things that really draws me to this region. And a lot of Italian wines using American oak. You know, everybody talks about how important that spice trade, that route set over to the Caribbean and to the Americas was for, you know, so many things, but we don't talk about the influence of American oak on Spanish and Italian wines and what a big deal that is. Because for me, you know, like when Riojas are going more modern with French oak, it's not that I don't like them. It's just that I really love the ones with American oak. I love that little dill and that coconut.
You can't replicate it.
It's just beautiful.
I mean, you would literally have to pour an extract in to replicate it because it does not exist in nature to
It is
get
lovely.
the American oak extraction.
That is just a elegant wine. As we sit here, Chef,
It's
it gets
stunning.
more and more
It's-
elegant.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I was getting ready to say, as it rests,
Yeah.
it just becomes more and more stunning.
Yeah.
However, just one quick follow-up. I read an article today about how well the Israelis are growing wine in the desert.
Yeah, they've always been good wines.
But it's becoming like commonplace how they trellis their wines and they have the very small drip irrigation, and we're not talking like the drip irrigation you have in your yard.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is like really calculated, and we're always talking about the struggle bus. But
Yeah.
I mean, people will figure it out. I mean, I'm like, humans are very
Sure.
intelligent. You know, engineers in times of change are going to be the best winemakers.
Well, I always think, when I think about Lebanon, has
Yeah.
some amazing wines, and they survived the most. That place is,
Scorpions die there.
like that place has been bombed and attacked and under under leadership for centuries of non-drinking communities, and just the fact that they're still just making it happen. They're
They're
intelligent.
making it happen. Yeah,
They got it in their
absolutely.
blood.
And devoted. Yeah,
Mhm.
they're devoted to
Yeah.
their culture,
They're
their
not
wine
quitters.
culture. And when you have that all in, that's what you get. You
That's
get
what you get.
perseverance.
Absolutely.
Cheers
So-
to them.
But like I said, Carlos Serra's, Chef Chris and I love this winery so very much. 100+ years of making beautiful wines, Tempranillo style, of course, and that is to me, it's the most underrated grape. I understand why, because it's a grape that has, somewhat of a non-specific flavor. It's hard to pinpoint what makes a Tempranillo, but I will say this: every time the rioja is put in my glass, I am one happy dude.
Oh my gosh, you said Tempranillo's driving. Anytime Tempranillo's driving, you're going to be happy where you end up. And whether it's something this over the top, elegant, or something every day,
Yeah.
Tempranillo over delivers. I mean, in every format and almost in the hands of every winemaker. Now, obviously, we're enjoying the wine of a master and of a very, very highly cultivated vineyards, but Tempranillo is just over delivers, period. And I don't know how many grapes you could say, maybe Garnacha, but
Yeah, it's
of
pretty versatile. Yeah.
what you can say constantly over delivers, because you always, I mean, I know I drink all these horrible other
Entry-level
varietals.
type
I mean,
things.
just
Yeah.
like spit it out. I don't know if I'm gonna cook with it wine. Never with Garnacha and Tempranillo. You can always find something to appreciate about it, even in the hands of a novice. It is not bad wine, and there's so much bad wine out there, but it's hardly, if ever, delivered by Tempranillo.
I would agree with that statement. It's hard to find a bad one, and there's, but boy, when you you have one that you're happy with
Yeah,
every
man.
day drinking, and then you have one of these Gran
It
reserva.
shows you what it's
This
capable of.
is under $35, and it is such a package. And I'm telling you right now,
You mean a glass,
this is
right?
8 years
It's
old,
35
and
a
it
glass.
drinks like it was made yesterday. Yeah, this is going to age as long as you want it to age, I think. I would say, if you had the patience, or if you
35.
wanted to, $10, 10 years, $10 a glass. $10 a glass, $9 a glass, really. And that's amazing. Bring it, I'll take it.
All day long.
Yeah.
This is stunning.
There's so many things that I like to say about this wine.
Yeah, where do you even start?
There is a beautiful vegetality on this. There's dried, maybe. I don't. It's not rose hips, but it's something in that general vicinity of maybe pink peppercornish floral. Yeah, how that has like a florality.
It's like that
to it.
morning glory vines,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a morning person and you go out to walk or you go out to garden in the morning, and like the morning vines, like morning glory and trumpet vines, they're always open early in the morning, and then they shut down in the heat.
Yeah.
And that morning florality
Yeah.
that they give when nothing else is doing that.
Yeah, they're going all up and down the greenway when I was
When you
running
walk or
regularly in the
run or
morning.
bike, I mean, you can always pick up on that because it's the only morning florality there is. Everything else is always a late day, afternoon thing, and that's what it's reminding me of.
Yeah, and so this is another, a wine. This is a little more, not. I wouldn't say it has quite the range of pairing. I wouldn't probably. I just don't really see me pairing this with much seafood. It could be with a really,
It'd have to be a beast.
Yeah, maybe some really rich paella, maybe.
The chorizo would bring it out.
Yes,
the chorizo
Spanish
and the
chorizo.
paella would certainly help get there. The richness of
maybe
the rice.
some mussels or something richer.
Mussels if it was saffron tomato, and of course you get those buttery baguettes or oily baguettes help you get there for sure. But I mean, I mean, like if it happened by happenstance, like shoot, yeah. But I'd save this for, if possible. I don't know, chorizo would get you there.
Yeah.
No
So what do
problem.
you plan on doing this bad boy?
Well, we're gonna do pastrami cured duck
Oh, beautiful.
with this
Yeah,
because the
love it.
spice,
The
the
pastrami.
mustard, the
Pastrami spices here.
pastrami spice with the mustard
time.
and the fatty of the duck. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a home run. It's gonna be a home run.
We've been doing a
Haven't
ton.
done that in a long time.
Done a ton of those prefix meals over the last couple weekends.
Oh boy, yes we have.
And
I mean,
had
tons of them.
had someone that had done the chef's table. They come in regularly for lunch and dinner, just kind of sprinkle it in. And he's like, "So what do I got to do to be here when the duck lands?" Because there was a time, like you had at the chef's table maybe 3 or 4 times.
I was ducking for a while.
For about a season, there was multiple duck opportunities. He was at one of those, and then I believe you had it on the menu one week.
I
For the
did.
dinner,
Not very often.
for the
but
dining room.
The fall is really
And I
my
think
duck
he
time.
caught one of the chef's tables and one of the
One
dining
night,
rooms. And he was,
He was ready for
This
some
has been
duck.
what, 6-7 months since you had it.
Oh,
And
yeah, it was back in the
still-
spring.
Still talking about
Winter,
it.
spring, yeah.
Still talking about it. So
I usually don't do a lot of summer duck, and so, well, I remember we had one woman at the chef's table, and she saw duck on the menu, and of course she was telling us this after the fact, but I had done some crazy Margaret duck, and it was probably still to this day my favorite compliment that I've ever been given. And at the end of the meal, she told me about how much she loved duck, and she gets it everywhere, and blah, 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 and how she first was introduced to it. But tonight, she said, I've been waiting 30 years for duck to taste like this.
wow.
And this is someone who eats duck all the time,
Yeah.
like, and travels, and so, I mean, to me, like, I was like, okay, I can fall over dead now. We're good. But I probably should do more duck.
Well,
I will this fall.
Yeah, I guess we are getting to that. Probably
Duck
another month
season.
or so.
Wabbit season. Yeah, well, it's time.
Well, again, I want to thank everybody for watching our little video. We taste wines because we like drinking wines, and we do it for you, but really it's for us. Just kidding. It's for you.
It's half and half.
50-50. Since you can't be here tasting together with us on Thursday nights, we do have a great crowd every Thursday night. If you're in downtown Mount Airy, North Carolina at 6 p.m. on Thursday, come join the party. We drink 4 wines. Chef prepares 4 bites to go along with it. We talk about wine. We talk about our day. And we just enjoy life. It's great.
What a great way to spend an evening together.
And if you'd like to do a chef's table like we're about to, I guess they're going to be knocking on the door
Yeah,
any minute.
any minute now.
If you'd like to do that, we do them on Wednesday and Sunday nights. The dining room's closed. It's just us. And it makes such we've done a lot of chef's table fighting the restaurant noise. And we've just had so much positive feedback from doing it on nights that the restaurant's closed, except for us, of course. And so it's just a really intimate evening. We love to do that for you. And
Please.
if you can't be here on a Wednesday or Sunday,
Don't despair. We've got a what?
We've got a chef's table lunch that we can do for you. A nice little 3-courser with wine. So if you're one of those people that likes to get their day started early and not have to worry about driving in the dark, that's another great opportunity for you. And then there's, of course, the prefix meal we do on Fridays and Saturdays.
5 courses.
5-course with wine, $100, the best deal on the planet. And that's
We
been
had
very
someone complain this weekend that we didn't charge them enough.
popular. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
It was that good.
Well, you know, we really trying to make it affordable to have fun things, and that's our goal.
That's our mission statement. We want everyone to have access, and of course, access to Ed out there in the dining room on the weekends is super extra special. So please take advantage of that. It's a really special, unique opportunity just for you.
It is unique and it's different every week, so you can do it every week.
Every
never
week.
have the same thing.
We don't
That's
repeat,
beautiful.
just like our mantra here at the chef's table, we don't repeat. Doesn't mean you might not see a scallop twice, it's just you'll never see it the same way,
That's right.
or the one.
And we appreciate everybody watching our video. Please tell a friend to watch it if they're like insomniac. They need to get to sleep. This is a great video. to
Better in
sleep in.
baseball.
That's right, and golf. So we're going to catch y'all next week. We'll have 4 new wines. Of course, our virtual video will have 2, but they will be just as delicious, I
But
guarantee
you get
it.
the full bottle.
Catch you next time.
Take care. Thanks for tuning in.